Alright, I've had 10 years to think about it, and I'm going to tell you something right now. This code is garbage. Not functionally garbage, but aesthetically garbage. And I also noticed that I never finished it. Now, to be fair, at the time I was 12, and I am now 22. And after watching the first 4 videos I ever made, I kind of feel a responsibility to finish it out. So here we are. We're going to finish it out, and I'm going to teach you a better way of organizing this code, because a lot of it's just kind of meh. So, first things first, we're going to trade out Notepad, which is fantastic if you don't want to bother downloading any additional programs. It's on Windows, it's ready to go, it's easy to use. But I prefer to use Notepad++ because, as you can see, everything is labeled. It's just easier to read, it's more organized, and I would say that I would recommend it. Go ahead and just download it on Notepad++'s website. I'll leave a link in the description. But this code has been irking me, man. I've kind of been rolling it over in my head a few times, and I'm just going to go ahead and finish out this series and finish strong. Sure, it took 10 years, but at least we're finishing it now. So let's go ahead and let's take a look. First things first, there's 2 echo offs here. That is not necessary. In any batch program, you only need 1. So that's going to go bye-bye. Okay, second thing, this. So it's cool, I guess. If at least 12-year-old me thought it was cool to have a loading thing in there, but recently in my coding hobby, I've seen it as there's no point to it, and so it doesn't need to be there. But if you want a loading screen to make it seem cool, we can leave it there. So I just generally think that not necessary, but it looks okay. So I don't have any gripes with it. In fact, we might upgrade this later with like a cool status bar or something if we feel it's necessary. But that's just to start it out. So another thing I noticed is right here, this color. That's perfectly fine. But what I also noticed is down here, I had it again. There's no need for that. Because as long as it's here, and it's not inside of any of these code blocks, and basically everything underneath that until it hits the next one is under the influence of this code block. But if this is outside of any code block, it influences the whole program. So therefore, this is not necessary. So just go ahead and wipe that out. Okay, loop right here is not necessary either, because this isn't necessary. If not defined number, CLS, go to loop. Now, that works. It's a thing. If you don't type anything in, it's not defined. Number is not defined. It will clear the screen and will go to loop, which will come back here and start the menu again. But there's no need to write all this when I could just go ahead and wipe that out. And right at the bottom here, I could just say, go to menu. So that way, if none of these conditions are met, it'll just keep working its way down. It'll hit that, and it'll go straight back here. So loop is also not necessary anymore because it's not being used. So let's see. We got that. Another thing is typically I like to use exclamation points instead of these percentage signs. But for the sake of just this tutorial, we'll keep it simple like that, because for variables, which is what this is, you can use both exclamation points like that, and you can use percent signs, just like that. Now, if you're going to use these, though, you need to do something special, which is why I am not going to show you in this tutorial, but later, perhaps in a more advanced batch tutorial. Perhaps I'll try again at the batch RPG thing now that I feel that I know stuff, I have free time, I'm done with college and all that fun stuff, so I don't have a bunch of things jamming into my life preventing me from making videos. So, okay, so next thing here is we got go to game and then start game. So that's not right. Although I think that was a mistake on my part recently here because I went through and I rewrote this program because this program was lost to time. So I had to go through and rewatch those videos to rewrite this program. So we'll go start game. Who are you? Yep, there's your name, whatever. Hello, name. Do you want to start the quiz? Yes, no, whatever. And so I tried to see if there was a way to do this, but unfortunately, command prompt, or at least the batch language, is capital specific. So you kind of do need that if you're going to be using singular letters. You could always just have it so that only what is in here works. But then it's kind of annoying. You can do either uppercase or lowercase. But for the sake of keeping the code cleaner, I am going to wipe these out because if you just type the lowercase ones like it says here, it'll work just fine. So, and then we got our go to start game, so that way if we don't type anything or if we type something incorrect, it'll just restart us on this. But we might not want to have to type the name every single time. So I think what I'm going to have is we'll change that to name and change this to name. And then we are going to put the actual, I don't know, I suppose we can call it greeting. So set name, whatever, who are you? And then we'll just go to greeting. Now, because of how this is structured, if you run through the code and there's nothing to stop it, it'll just move on to the next block. But it's always good practice to put something like that there just in case you end up moving this later in the development process or whatever. It's always a good idea to have locations and not be reliant on the way that the code is structured in in the actual file itself. So it goes, who are you? There's your name. Go to greeting, etc. Greeting, hello, name. Would you like to start the quiz? Yes, no. Start, yes, no. Goes to level 1. You have your, this is the info, which I guess is fine because you have your name up here, and then you have your info, which I personally like to uh, label off stuff, and I'll just call it like menu options, whatever. And so everything below that is menu options, and then we get to the levels. So REM, I'm not sure what that stands for, but basically that's just so you can write a comment. These don't affect the code in any way. So you go REM, and then you just type whatever you want, and it's all grayed out. But as soon as you go to the next line, you start writing code again. So we got menu options, levels. Okay, and so now I'll wipe out this too, just to be consistent. Okay, and we got our go to info so that it loops back. Greeting. Go to greeting. Yeah, okay, that works. So, hello, please enter the following question. When did World War II start? So, this one was kind of meh. World War II doesn't really have an official start date. 1939 would have been when Germany invaded Poland. Now, you could also go back to 1933 when the Japanese invaded China, which technically that could have been the start of World War II as well. Or you could put it at 1941 when the United States joined, but then that wouldn't really be accurate either. So, but that's just a thing personally for me that it was kind of irked me a little bit. So we'll just keep that though. Hello, please answer the following question. When did World War II start? So I'm just going to wipe that out because that's not necessary. We know we're answering questions. So I'm just going to go question 1. When did World War II start? And then you have your choices, whatever. We have correct, wrong, wrong, and wrong. Um, and so one thing I kind of want to introduce is you don't have to make a correct and a wrong for every single question, because that would take up a whole ton of code. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to make 2 blocks of code that take an input from each question and will send you back to the question if you get it wrong or get it right or whatever. So I am just going to add that right here. And we're just going to say this is correct, wrong, whatever. And then we're going to have our block of code for both of those. We'll just go correct and wrong. Okay, so what we're going to want to do is we need a way that it will take in what the correct answer is supposed to be and display that if you got it wrong. Or if it was correct, it says you got it correct. Would you like to move on to the next one? And then we will have it, it'll go to a variable that we set at the beginning of every question. So that might not make a whole lot of sense, but I'll just go ahead and show you so that it will make more sense if you see what I'm talking about. So if we go, we'll do wrong first because that one will be a little bit easier. We'll go CLS, echo, you chose, yeah, you chose that was incorrect. So we'll just do answer to make it easy. That was incorrect. The correct answer was okay. And then this is where you go, would you like to continue? And then we put our YN. And I can just go ahead and copy this. Another thing is that this doesn't have to be different every single time. Technically, it's good practice just in case you don't wipe out your variable or whatever, something happens and then suddenly it's automatically picking options for you. So for this sake, I'll have it different every single time, but you could just have this as X. For every single time you do it, it could just be if X, whatever, but then X is always set on the, and I actually forgot to put that in, on this line right here where you're going set /p means user input through keyboard, and then the variable name equals, and then everything you type after this is what help gets set to. So in this case, I would like to just do X. Or, yeah, we'll just do X. Just to make it easy, from now on, I'm going to be using X in here. So if X is Y, go to, would you like to continue? we'll go to, and then this is where we're also going to be setting, we'll go level, and this should work, but we'll test it. What it'll do essentially is we'll go next level. We'll put a number in there at the beginning of each question, which will go in there and it'll say level, and then it'll spit out the level name, but then it'll read it as go to level 2, for example. If this is set to 2, then this will read as level 2 and it will go to level 2, and etc. And would you like to continue? No. Then I would say go to back to menu, because clearly you're a big baby and you just want to get it over with, go back to the main menu and quit. So then we'll just say go to wrong, and that way if we don't put in the correct answer, it'll just keep looping. Okay. So now we'll do the correct. Correct will be CLS again, echo. That is the correct answer. And then echo dot, and echo would you like to continue? We do our yn, and then set slash px equal to, put our user input in there. If x equals y, go to, we're actually just going to copy this right down here. So that's another thing, a helpful thing about having all of your input variables be the same, is that you can just copy and paste and it works. You just have to make sure you change these around, otherwise it'll start going places that don't really make any sense. Also, I made a mistake here. So this is actually, you want to go to the next level here. But we actually want to be current level for this one, because if you're wrong, why would it let you move to the next question? Or actually, you know what? No, we could have it so go to the next, and we'll just count it as wrong, and then it'll tell you a score at the end for how many you got correct out of 5. So then next level, yep, next level, menu, that should work, that should work. Can't forget your go-to statement at the end of each one, so that way if you don't type in anything, or if you type in something that it can't accept, it'll just loop back until you put something in that you can. So we got correct, wrong. Okay, so we have this set up. So now what we need to do is we need to supply these right here with variables. And so at the beginning of every level, we can set all the variables we need before we do the clear screen. It doesn't really matter where you do it as long as it's not in here somewhere. If you do it like after here, it's not going to set the variables. So I guess it would be a good idea to set it right at the beginning before it even prints out any of the words. So we'll go through and we'll set all the variables we need to set. So if we need to set next level, we know right now we're on level 1. So if we go set nx lvl next level equal to 2, then that should work. Okay, and Yeah, the correct answer was C answer. Can swear. Oh dear. uh okay. Yeah, I'll just stick with that. That's fine, I guess. Uh and then we are going to set this to answer. And then if answer. You got A, B, C, and D. If answer equals A, go to correct. And then we have wrong. Okay. So now if we answer A, it'll swing us over to correct and it'll say, that is the correct answer. Would you like to continue? And then if you say, yes, I would, it'll go level. And then it'll read this one, which the next level is level 2 because this is level 1. So, and also, you can add, if we want to add score, we can also tag on another command. So if you do this right here, you have two and signs together, that means and. So I want to go to correct, and I want to set score plus equals 1. Now what that's going to do is anything, whatever value score is, plus 1 will be added to it. If you want to do it, if that doesn't make a lot of sense, you can also do score equals score plus 1. But the quick and dirty way is to just go plus equals 1, and that will add 1 to score. So, do that. Go there. That reads that's fine. Now, if we get it wrong, though, we're going to need that information. So, you chose answer. That was incorrect. The correct answer was can swear. So, in this case, we're just going to make sure that we set can swear equal to A. And we're also going to make sure that we put that in quotations. Otherwise, when we read it on the screen, it's going to look kind of funky since these are letters. So if you chose A, it would say, you chose a, that was incorrect. The correct answer was a. So that wouldn't make a lot of sense, and that's why we'd probably need these to make it a little bit more clear about what we're talking about. So, would you like to continue? Yes, no, etc. Level, next level. Okay. So, let's just go ahead and wipe these out. That's old code. It's old news. We don't need that crap in our life. We are evolved. Level 2 CLS Echo. You have made it. That is amazing. I am so proud. Exclamation point. We gotta drive the point home. And then we are just gonna do a pause real quick just to make it easy. And then we're gonna go back to menu. Go to menu. Okay, so that way when it comes around here, it's just say, you have made it. That is amazing. I am so proud. And then it will show up, press any key to continue. And then you will go to menu and it will kick us back here. And that's just going to be a quick test to make sure that our code actually works. So if I pop up our game.bat file right here, open it up, we have our loading screen. And hello and welcome to the game. You get to start, info, or exit, sad face. So we're going to do 2 real quick just to make sure that works. Press your desired button and press enter to continue wherever you are going to. That is poorly worded, but I'll accept it. Go back? Yes, I would like to go back. Thank you very much. Okay, let's go ahead and start the game. Who are you? Oh boy, who could forget? Hello, Neckwill. Do you want to start the quiz? Oh, I forgot a clear screen command in there as well. That's something that we could shove in there real quick. Otherwise, if you don't add a clear screen, you can see what happens. It just kind of prints it after, and it doesn't wipe out what you said before. So, okay, do you want to start the quiz? Yes, I would, actually. So, question one, when did World War II start? I'm pretty sure it started in 2045, so I'm going to go ahead and go with that answer. You chose B. That was incorrect. The correct answer was A. Would you like to continue? Sure. Actually, I would. Oh, and it works. You have made it. That is amazing. I am so proud. Press any key to continue. And we do, and it brings us back to the menu. Now let's go ahead and make sure that correct works as well. We'll go start. Who are you? I am the great and almighty Netquill. Hello, Netquill. Do you want to start the quiz? Yes, I would. When did World War II start? That is obvious. It started in 1939 when Hitler invaded Poland. That is the correct answer. Would you like to continue? You bet your butt I would. Let's move on. And you have made it. That is amazing, and I am so proud. Continue. Okay, so we've confirmed that everything we have written works. Now, this is far superior code to what I originally wrote. Not dissing myself from 10 years ago because I was 12 and I only knew so much, but now I know better and I can share that with you guys, especially the people that just started the series or hell watched it 8 years ago because I still get comments to this day that are saying, "Netquill, thank you for getting me into programming. You've changed my life, etc., etc., etc." I'm very happy that I could help you guys, and it means a lot to me that I could have an influence on your life simply because of my programming hobby and me teaching this very basic scripting language that any Windows user can use. It's super easy to understand. It's super easy to get into. Uh, yeah, it's just it's a it it inspired me to get into Java and Python and all sorts of fun stuff. But Batch has a special place in my heart because it's always been my first programming language, and I'm happy I could make that a part of your guys' life too. Um, but yeah, so this is where we are right now. I'm not sure how long I've been recording, but oh, okay, yeah, 28 minutes. That is a lot longer than most of the videos I've done in this How to Make a Game in Notepad series. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it off now. And I would like to come back for a part 6 where we're going to go ahead and finish this off so that you guys have a completed game. I can have a list of questions ready to go so that we can just copy, paste. And so, yeah, that's all I got today. And you guys have a fabulous day, and thank you for watching.